What's up, guys? It's Ty here, and today I have the Week 6 recap of the 2017-2018 college football season, and this week was filled with a few upsets that I'm very happy about, being an Ohio State fan, and I'm sure you guys are too, unless you are fans of the teams that got upset. Sorry, not sorry. So, let's get started. There was some Wednesday action this time. Ooh, fancy. Arkansas State beat Georgia Southern. Nothing really crazy there. Don't really care. And then Thursday night, we actually had a really nice game between two top 25 opponents, with number 17 Louisville traveling to NC State or North Carolina State, whatever you prefer. And I said that NC State would win this game, and they did. They won 39-25, beating the Lamar Action Jacksons themselves. NC State moves to 5-1 on the year, 3-0 in the ACC, looking very impressive to start out the year. Nakeem Himes, 18 carries, 102 yards with 2 touchdowns, and Dez Fitzpatrick for Louisville, 10 receptions, 134 yards. And yeah, Louisville falls to 4-2, though 1-2 in the ACC, not too good right there. On Friday night, Memphis ended up beating Connecticut 70-31. Riley Ferguson had 7 passing touchdowns. Anthony Miller had 15 receptions, 224 yards, and 4 touchdowns. That's insane. That is just absolutely insane. Memphis moves to 4-1 on the year. Boise State traveled to BYU, and BYU really not having a good year at all. They are now 1-5 as Boise State beat them 24-7. Just an easy win for the Broncos out of Boise or Idaho, whatever you prefer. Now on to Saturday, we got both my teams winning. Happy to see that. I thought this game would be a lot closer, honestly. I thought it'd be more of a 31-17 game, in my opinion. But I guess I overestimated Maryland way too much, or I underestimated my own team in Ohio State, as we were up 41-7 after the first. And we ended up beating Maryland 62-14. JT Barrett, 20 for 31, 261 yards and 3 touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins also added 96 yards on the ground with a touchdown. And the offense is looking good. We're looking primed for Nebraska next week. I'm sorry, Tanner. No way in heck. I can't swear here. YouTube will not allow me to do things. Yeah, no way Nebraska's going to be beating us. Yeah, we're going to move to 6-1 next week. Sorry about that, Tanner. Toledo ended up getting the win against Eastern Michigan, 22-15. Weird scoreline here. Logan Woodside, 21 for 34, 289 yards. Art Tompkins had 94 yards on the ground with a touchdown. But sad news for Toledo. I saw this. Cody Thompson is out for the year with a broken leg, and that's just such a sad sight. He's our best receiver, and I mean, that's going to be hurting the team, but hopefully Toledo can keep up their great start to the year. They are 4-1 on the year. So number 1 Alabama traveled to Kyle Field to play the Texas A&M Aggies, and it was 17-3 after half, and then ended up being 24-3 at one point. But then Texas A&M tried to make a valiant comeback, but they ended up coming up short, losing 27-19. But they kept it close against the number 1 seeded Alabama. Damian Harris, 14 carries, 124 yards with a touchdown, and yeah, Alabama just getting the win. Clemson beat Wake Forest here 28-14. Wake Forest scored 14 in the fourth quarter, but it was a little bit too little too late. But Kelly Bryant did get injured. We don't know how serious it is yet, but that's just, man, I mean, that's a big injury for the Tigers right there to keep their season alive. So, and here is number 1 of the 2 big upsets, and I could not be happier to see this as an Ohio State fan, as the Iowa State Cyclones travel to Norman and upset the number 3 ranked Oklahoma Sooners. It was 24-13 at one point, I do believe, and Iowa State did end up coming back and winning 38-31. Kyle Kempt, 18 for 24, 343 yards with 3 touchdowns. Man, could not be stopped, and man, I'm so happy to see Oklahoma lose. It was well deserved. Mwahahaha. Penn State went to Northwestern here, and I thought this game would be a little bit closer, but Penn State just looked way too strong. Saquon Barkley is an absolute beast, even though he didn't really show it at the beginning, but that wasn't entirely his fault, as the line was not doing much. But he's throwing up with 16 carries, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns, so he's still getting his dues. Trace McSorley, or Trace Mc... I'm not going to say it. I don't like him. Jake, if you're watching this, you know that. But Seed Blacknall, good game from him too. 4 receptions, 74 yards. And easy win for Penn State. Georgia went to Vandy, and I thought this game would be closer as well, but I'm obviously wrong and stupid. But Georgia keeps up their strong season, beating the Commodores 45-14. Georgia looks so good, man. They are looking really, really good to start out this year. And let's move on here. Number 6 Washington wins 38-7, beating California. Myles Gaskin had 2 touchdowns. Jake Browning, standard game, and everyone just had a standard game, really. And here's number 2 of the big upsets. And I'm also happy to see this, I guess. I mean, I don't know who I hate more. I hate both these teams equally. But as of right now, since Michigan's better, I hate Michigan a little bit more. As Michigan State, the Spartans traveled to Ann Arbor, and they beat the number 7th ranked Michigan 14-10. John O'Korn had 3 interceptions. There was 5 turnovers by Michigan, but the weather conditions were so bad. So I'm happy to see that Michigan falls, and that is what I like to see. Here was where College Game Day was. It was West Virginia versus the number 8 ranked Horned Frogs out of TCU, and it was a nice game, close game here, 31-24. Will Grier had 366 yards with 3 passing touchdowns. Justin Crawford, 111 yards on the ground. And then Karan White here, who's Kevin White's brother, may I add. 6 receptions, 138 yards with a touchdown. Wisconsin beat Nebraska 38-17 here at Nebraska. Tanner Lee, 50 receptions. Jonathan Taylor, 25 carries, 249 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor is really, really good, guys. I'm just saying that right now. If you don't know who Jonathan Taylor is, learn his name. He's going to be a beast. He's a freshman. He's going to be a name that we're going to be hearing in the Big Ten for the next couple years. Quote me on that. The Washington State Cougars win 33-10 over Oregon in Eugene, which is I thought this game would be a little closer. They're actually up after the first quarter, but then Washington State threw up a goose egg for the rest of the game, and they ended up rolling. Luke Falk had 3 touchdowns and a win as Washington State stays 6-0. Auburn thrashed Ole Miss. Ole Miss came back a little bit towards the end, but it was, again, a little bit too little too late. Kerryon Johnson had 204 yards on the ground with 3 touchdowns. Just a great day from Auburn. Auburn's offense is starting to roll now, I'll tell you what. The Miami Hurricanes traveled to Tallahassee, and in the last second, they ended up beating the 1-3 now Florida State Seminoles. Florida State scored 17 points in the fourth quarter, and they almost made the comeback, but Miami did end up making the last play of the game, and they won the game. So a great rivalry game right there. Braxton Berrios, 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Really nice to see that. USC beat Oregon State 38-10. I mean, what did you expect? Sam Darnold did bounce back, 3 touchdowns, 23 for 35. I mean, that's good to see that. You don't want to see Sam Darnold be too bad, because what's wrong with Sam Darnold? He's not a bad guy. I mean, no one hates him unless you're a Penn State fan. Jake, I'm sorry. Virginia Tech bounces back, and they beat Boston College 23-10. So it's a little bit closer game than I thought. No really crazy stat lines. I mean, Sean Savoy, maybe 9 receptions, 139 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah, pretty standard win. San Diego State beat UNLV 41-10. Rashard Penny had 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. Good game from him. And, yeah, we're going to be moving on. Stanford ends up pulling the upset against the number 20 ranked Utah Utes, 23-20 in Utah. Bryce Love, 20 carries, 152 yards, and a touchdown. And, yeah, big win for the Cardinal, and they're getting their season back on track after a shaky start. Nice to see that. Notre Dame beat North Carolina 33-10. Deion McIntosh, 124 yards with 2 touchdowns, and Notre Dame 5-1. Ooh, so they're looking good. This game right here, LSU actually beat the number 21st ranked Gators 17-16. Weird score line. But no crazy stats here at all. But LSU just pulls out the win after losing to Troy. They bounce back to beat Florida. The Florida Skaters, as they just been getting lucky, and they finally got their due, and they got a loss. Finally. And then number 25th ranked Central Florida, or the Blake Bortles team of mystery. What I just made. Okay, don't forget what I just said there. They only played 3 quarters, it looks like. Alright, I guess they're like, okay, no way Cincinnati's coming back, but I guarantee Josh Rosen would tell you otherwise, that there is always a chance to come back. Milton, 16 for 19, 5 touchdowns. What? 374 yards. Traquan Smith had 165 yards with 3 touchdowns. Just a great game from UCF, looking really, really strong. Tulane beat Tulsa 62-28 here. 4 touchdowns from Dontrell Hilliard. Wow, with 175 yards on the ground. Dang. Temple beat East Carolina 34-10. Iowa thrashes Illinois 45-16. Akram Wadley here, 115 yards with a touchdown. I see that. Texas Tech 65-19 beating Kansas. Jeez. Like, that's a lot. Nipsey here, I don't know why he's not there, but he had 4 rushing touchdowns on the day. Nice to see that. Virginia beats Duke here. Duke loses their second straight, but Virginia's 4-1, sneakily 4-1. No one really had a crazy day there. But, what a name here. Olmidi Zigzousis? What? I don't know. But, the Syracuse Orange beat the Pitt Panthers. Pitt Panthers down to 2-4. Pitt's not having the year that I thought they would have. 27-24, and I'm just gonna move on from that. Central Michigan beat Ohio 26-23. They went to Ohio and they beat them in their own house. Nathan Rourke had 3 touchdowns and 105 yards on the ground. Tyler Conklin had 136 yards with 2 touchdowns. Bowling Green beat Miami of Ohio 37-29. Louisiana Monroe beat Texas State 45-27. Middle Tennessee beat Florida International 37-17. Purdue beat Minnesota 31-17. That's a good win for the Boilermakers right there. Appalachian State won 45-31 against New Mexico State. Akron beat Ball State pretty handily 31-3. Navy beat Air Force in a close one, 48-45. Air Force almost made the comeback, outscoring Navy 21-10 in the 4th, but Navy scored the go-ahead touchdown with 15 seconds, as we see right there. Zach Abey had 214 yards with 2 touchdowns. Northern Illinois beat the Kent State 24-3. Pretty easy win for them. Yeah, this game happened. This game happened. Western Michigan beat Buffalo 71-68 in a 7-overtime game. A 7-overtime game. Drew Anderson, 7 touchdowns, 597 yards. Just look at these stats. 37 carries for Javion Franklin. Like, oh my God, what a game. 7 overtimes. Who would have expected it? I didn't. Indiana throws up a goose egg against Charleston Southern, 27-0. South Carolina beat Arkansas 48-22. UAB beat Louisiana Tech 23-22. A 1 game and a late field goal preserved the win right there. So pretty good game right there. Real close one. I mean, 1 point. That's pretty close. Colorado State beat Utah State 27-14. Louisiana beat Idaho 21-16. Marshall beat Charlotte. Charlotte sucks 0-6. 14-3. Florida Atlantic beat Old Dominion 58-28. Army beat Rice 49-12. If there's any crazy stats, make sure you guys just pause. Maybe let me know in the comments. I'm trying to go quick through these. Georgia State beat Coastal Carolina 27-21. Houston beat SMU. Good win right there, 35-22. Texas ended up beating Kansas State in double overtime. Really good win for Texas right there. Sam Ellinger was 30 for 50, 380 yards with 2 touchdowns. Dalton Sheon, 5 receptions, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns for Kansas State, but they did fall short. They've lost 2 in a row. Not good at all. Southern Mississippi beat UTSA, handing them their first loss of the year, 31-29. Kentucky beat Missouri, and they moved to 5-1 on the year, 40-34. Fresno State beat San Jose State 27-10. They already played 7 games. Wow. This year is going so quick. Western Kentucky beat UTEP 15-14. Like, I've never seen a score line like that. Arizona beat Colorado 45-42. And I'm pretty sure Khalil Tate, 14 carries, 327 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Did I mention he's a quarterback? Yeah, he's the quarterback. That's a record, by the way. And then Nevada gets their first win on the year as they win 35-21 against Hawaii. This dude had 241 yards on the ground with 8 touchdowns. So Guys, that's all the scores. Let's check out the rankings for Week 7, and then we'll call it a video. So, Alabama and Clemson stayed there at 1 and 2, but since Oklahoma lost, bless their hearts, Penn State ends up moving to 3rd as deserved. Then Georgia moves to 4, Washington up to 5. Then TCU jumps 2 up to 6th. Wisconsin jumps 2 up to 7th. Washington State jumps up 3. They are now 8th. They jump Ohio State, who's now 9th. Which I agree with, honestly. I do. I mean, all the undefeated teams let them go. I mean, it's a matter of time before Miami ends up going ahead too, but Miami's not better than Ohio State, just saying. Auburn is now 10th. Miami's 11th. Oklahoma ends up dropping 9, which is well-deserved as they lost to a bad team, to 12th. USC to 13. Oklahoma State 14. Virginia Tech 15. Notre Dame moves up 5. They move up 5 to up to 16. That's crazy. Michigan moves down 10, which is actually really surprising. I didn't think they'd drop that much, but hey, down to 17th. I'm not going to complain. South Florida and San Diego State stay put. NC State moves up 4, as well deserved. They are now 20th in the rankings. Michigan State ends up moving all the way up to 21st in the country. They were non-ranked, but now they are. Central Florida is now 22nd, and then Stanford is 23rd. They're new to the rankings. Texas Tech is 24th. They're new to the rankings, and Navy is 25th. They're new to the rankings as well. These teams were all the teams that dropped from the rankings, and then the others receiving vote. Georgia Tech is knocking on the door. West Virginia, Louisville, basically all teams. Iowa State's even getting some votes now. Memphis and Texas A&M. So, guys, if you went on to enjoy the video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to YouTube. If you haven't already, this is Tyler signing off saying I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one. Later.